Okay. So what did you think about that intro? I don't know. This is all new for me, and I'm happy you can be with us today, or with me today. This is our first live broadcast. I want to get a feel for this, see how this runs, and I gotta tell you, I screwed up plenty of times already today. I've talked to a few of my friends, got some pointers. I've got a really cool setup going on, even with the mic in my face. I actually don't mind that for the way it looks on camera. But you know what? It's not about me. It's not about my look, my exotic nature. It's actually about the drawing. So I'd kind of like to get started with that right away. I think the purpose of this is going to be just to share time with you guys, and maybe get a few of you on here and sketch with me and talk about process and how we go about our drawing. Because I'm going to maintain through this whole thing, and I want you to understand this underlying thought process here is that anyone can draw. There's nothing special about me. The only thing is I just didn't stop drawing after a certain age. Everyone just kind of drops it. I kept going, and a lot of other people did the same. That's why we have professional artists. Not saying I'm on their caliber at all. You know who I'm talking to, but just to be able to draw at a level that you can be proud of, that's where I'm at. And anyone can get there. It just takes time and effort. And maybe that's what we'll do along the way. So here we go. I've got the program of choice pulled up. This is Comic Draw app. This is what I've done. The comic books that we've put out 4 so far. One of them actually will not be out until later on this year, but we're really excited about the next round. A lot of excitement around those, and a couple of other projects on the side. But this is the main source for me. It's a very easy program to work in, whether you're doing comic books or not, it doesn't matter. And I'll kind of go with the process here. When I'm drawing, usually I'll start off in this and just do a real rough sketch of whatever it is I want to draw. And, maybe we'll draw kind of a shady looking character. Please note I did not say sketchy. Somebody who's maybe nefarious and looking for trouble and about to find it. Who knows? So we're going to kind of do a rough in here. One thing you'll notice as we go along is there are some things that you'll pick up that you'll do. Like if you're drawing a face, there are certain things that you're going to do every time you draw a face, or at least think about it, I should say, because I don't draw every face the same. Otherwise, they'd all look the same. And that's not the case. Especially when you're drawing guys that look like they're nefarious. Sounds like that's going to be the word of the day. Anyway, I just want to do a rough of the process that I use specifically in this program. Yeah, he's bald. We could do something better than that. Let's give him maybe a crew cut or a flat top. Some of you may know earlier today I was watching Thor, so I drew a little bit of a Thor thing, which is right here. This is just working and reworking the sketch over and over again, and getting it down to that. So like if I see something I don't like, absolutely, I can take it out right away in this stage, and it's not going to hurt the final product. As a matter of fact, just as an example, I can take this whole thing and get rid of it just by moving it off to the side. Okay. Let's see if I can do a goofy Thor from memory. How's that? He's got a really square jaw. And Let's see. And he has a beard. So we're just going to get some scruffiness going on in here. And then where his bottom lip is, we want to add some of that in there. How about a thinner stash? Almost a Stark stash. How's that? Can I call it a Stark stash? Am I going to get a call from Disney? I don't know. But yeah, kind of liking that. The other thing with this particular Thor is his hair is pulled back. And then he'll have his ears popping out there. Now, one thing you'll definitely notice about my style is that it's cartoony as hell, but that's okay. That's the way I like drawing, because I like to draw fast, and you can't really, well, I guess if you practiced hard enough, I'm not going to say you can't. You could definitely, as long as you're comfortable with the process, you can be as fast as me, the microwave artist, Sketchy guy, Nevada. All right, so that's just a really, really quick rough. Good. And I'll just give it some depth here. We're gonna put a quick shadow under the nose, a little bit of shadow in the ear. And if we really want, let's add some. There we go. Okay, someone just pissed him off. That's what we're going to work with right there. Cool. And then, of course, you know what? We're going to do a little there from his MCU ponytail. And now I'm going to take some of this sketchy edging and thicken it up. So it kind of defines the different areas better. I don't know if you can see how well that goes. I mean, right now, does this come across as Thor to you? Or does it just come across as some barbarian dude? So, you know what? Actually, I'm going to start this on a different layer. I want Thor to have the broad shoulders going, but, you know, his shoulders in the movie are over accentuated by his cape, which is kind of funny. At least it's funny to me. I look forward to your letters. So here we are putting that all together. And then, of course, since that's below his chin, we're going to go ahead and add that shadow under there right now. It's part of his chin. Maybe we can get some chin hairs in there. All right. Now, because these are kind of at an angle, instead of being circular, they're more of an ellipse shape. And since I have him kind of looking down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give an edge there so it looks like his whole body's kind of leaning forward. You get that feeling? And then these edges down here we can clean up. You know what? Who cares if they're not perfect, right? This is for your enjoyment. Or, you know, when you're drawing, it's for your enjoyment. This is for my enjoyment. You don't like it? How can I be nice? There we go. All right. So step one is putting this all together. And you see right now what I'm doing is I'm erasing the lines that I just drew. And you're like, wait a minute, how did that happen? It's because it's on a different layer. So it doesn't affect the layer that I don't have it on. And I don't like that that connects where the points come together at the same spot. That does not look good to me. So we're going to do it that way. Good. All right. Well, that's good enough for now. This will be good for the next step. Okay. So I have this. What do I do at this point? I'm going to pop it out of Comic Draw app and I'm going to put it into a free program, literally a free program online called Sketchbook Pro. So I'm going to transfer it over. And I've been using Sketchbook Pro for so long, it's just a really easy program for me to use. I'm pretty fast with it, which is kind of the point. So the first thing I do is I darken it up. And then I'm going to lock that layer. If you have questions about anything I'm doing, let me know. Send me an email, put comments down below the video, just so I can address them. Now, I had somebody asking me about layers. One of the reasons why the layers are so important is so when you're editing, it's a lot easier, you know, when you're working on one part to take it away if you don't like it, or, you know, without affecting the rest of it. You don't have to erase the whole thing. You just erase that one layer. Or like you just saw a little bit ago, take the eraser to the level or on the layer that the drawing's on, and it doesn't affect any of the other layers, and you can be a little more precise without just erasing that whole layer. I know that sounds really weird, but there you go. Sometimes I actually do like just sketching like I'm sketching on paper. So that means I don't use layers. I know, right? Contain your excitement. It is just the way it feels sometimes. That, you know, I want to feel like I'm drawing on paper. So, you know, on paper, you can't work layers. Something else I noticed when when I'm working on papers, I tend to do things like I'm on an iPad. Like, I don't know, double tap the screen or pinch and zoom, and that just doesn't work on standard 8.5 by 11. I don't know why that is. If you can figure that out, please tell me. That would be very helpful. All right. So as you can see, I was just doing a little bit more cleanup. It's not going to be perfect. That's totally fine. Now we're going to go over here to the layers. Layers, magic layers. And start off here. I have some pre-mixed colors there, pre-made colors that I use frequently. So they're ready to go. You can mix your own. You don't have to use just the stuff that they provide in the program, which is nice. They also provide you places to save those individual colors on the palette, so you don't have to keep recreating those colors. And I'm being pretty rough here with the coloring, and then you notice I'm leaving a bunch of white in between those colors. Let me show you what I just did all of that on one layer. If I take away that, that's what's left. See that? That also shows me that, oh, I missed a spot up here. Oh, I need to close that off. And it also shows that I have an actual dot there. But the important thing is this. Put that back. I'm still working on this layer. I'm going to go fill. And that entire area is filled in. It's just fast. I think traditionally what they would call that is, shoot, I just completely went blank. I'm sorry. Flats. That's what it is. Where somebody draws something digitally and then they have another person come in and do flats where they color everything, all the hair, one color all over it, so that when someone comes back and edits, they edit that layer with the hair, and that will happen sometimes. They're not messing up with the other layers. Layers are really good for that. Like I said, I'm working pretty fast. It's going to be a little messy, but I want you to get an idea of what this is. Like, for those of you who've seen my videos online before where it's sped up and I make the joke where, oh, this is the actual speed. This is the actual speed. And it's funny, if you've seen those videos, it's only slightly faster when it's sped up. Usually I speed it up for time. Also, if I record in certain programs, it automatically time lapses. But here's this. What are you thinking so far? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Checking for comments. Not expecting many because I didn't invite a lot of people to see this. I'm kind of embarrassed. This is my first video. I know. Trust myself. I think it's going well. We're going to quickly finish this up. There's his hair. And we need his fancy cape. That's underneath everything. So this is another thing about layers, which is cool. You know how I wanted to be really precise. I only have to be really precise on the areas that are obvious. Case in point, these edges up there. Now, when I get to where it goes under something that's already colored, I don't have to worry about it. And I'll show you what I mean in just 1 second. I'll finish these tight edges. Now here we go. Oh, trust me, it's still there. Let me take away that blue layer. It's still there. You just can't see it because it's behind that other layer. The layer's on top on the right-hand side there. So it doesn't show through. Oh, that's a lot of red we don't need. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to do these guys here, which look a little more like, pictorial protection or cape brooches. I don't know what you call those. Let me know. What do you call It's not armor. It doesn't really cover much. You might have to delve a little bit further back into traditional comic book info to get this, but let's get his eyeballs in there too. Good. What color eyes should he have? Blue is essentially like a normal color for a superhero, but I think it'll look good with his red cape. I know it's behind that hair. It'll come out better in a second. Okay, so there's the basic. Now we're going to get into, let's start making this little more presentable, shall we? Okay, forehead has a little green in it. That looks good. We're going to come back to a darker, I'm going to say skin tone, but it's not really. It's just the skin tone I'm using. And where the hair would fall down. And you notice that there are some areas up here that are showing through white. Well, I can take the lock off of that. And let's fill that in a little bit. Good. Put the lock back on. Still got the darker color selected. Lower down that brush a little bit. Really work in some of these darker areas. I'm going to do something really shocking here in a minute. I know. I'm actually going to take that even darker. There's a reason for that. It's going to look unusual, but I'm going to end up lightening up his skin just to even out all of these dramatic spots. There we go. You ready? Lightest skin tone I have saved, biggest brush, and a couple of quick passes. And how's that look? Looks pretty good. If I do say so myself, let's do the eyes. Eyes, we have that dark gray that we already put in there. And now we're just going to take some white, fade it out to the edges of the dark gray there. So it's white in the middle. And then eyes, which by far are my favorite thing to do. Take a darker color and very dramatic, like that. Bam. The other thing is that we go up to a top layer there and just plop in some, and it immediately pops. Look at that. It's amazing. Did I just turn into Oprah Winfrey? Oh, man. Okay. So his hair. MCU, he's got blonde hair. Let's take his hair here to some browns, and then let's shade some of that in. Really want to get that to show that, oh yeah, that's in the distance. Behind, edges there. And then take it up. There's that. Sorry, I'm excited. This is kind of coming together very well. You're like, oh, but you draw all the time. That shouldn't be exciting. It doesn't matter how long you draw. When you start drawing something that looks good, you just kind of love it. I didn't lock the layer. That's why we have that down there. So we're going to take it back a step, lock it again, and go in there and then darken this stuff up. How's that looking? Better? Looks like it could go a little darker, especially down there. Maybe in some of these folds. And then let's take it back to that red, pull back some of these. Like that one, the way that turned out. And then this is going to sound weird, but we're going to put some orange in here. But I think the orange really lightens it up without making it too pink or whatever. And now for this guy, we are going to go pretty dark. There we go, some reflections. With some reflections on the top. So there's my quick Thor. What do you guys think? Does that work? That's pretty easy. Fast and easy. Take the background off and save it. Now that whole thing will be fine. But what if somebody wants to use this on a shirt or something? Probably be good on a black shirt. But you need to accentuate it so it'll pop on the shirt. In order to do that, so it'll work on the shirt, and to give it some contrast, we are going to put an outline of white. What I like to do is get an angular outline, especially on the round bits. That's just me. And now we're going to fill that. Perfect. So that's how it'd look on a shirt. Yay! All right. Well, that's the first drawing we've done together, and I hope you enjoyed it. You guys, like I said, if you have any questions, please go ahead and leave comments, like the video, check out my webpage. That's sketchyguyNV.com. And I seriously hope you enjoy this. I hope it gets you to pick up a pencil and do some drawing for yourself. Till next time, remember, anyone can draw. If you like this video, whoa, did that just happen? If you like this video, love tap that like button. While you're at it, subscribe, and don't forget to visit me at sketchyguyNV.com.